I'm Howie Scarborough. I'm the CEO of Fall Protection Distributors. We recently put out a blog focused on extreme metal fabricators and their standing seam panels that they produce. What we're talking about today is the most compatible fall protection equipment that is safe to use on their roof systems. Obviously, we want to protect the roof system, but at the same time, we need to protect the workers. So if you jump into this blog, we go into depth into the different panels that they make. One thing I'll caution you about is they do make several curved panels. So anytime we're talking about seam mounted equipment that we're going to talk about here in just a minute, we're not talking about curved panels. Anytime there's a curved roof system, we do recommend that you have an on-site inspection by a trained safety expert to help determine which equipment you should use. As far as non-curved panels, we're focused on 22 and 24 gauge steel. They do have several different options, but if you're working on 22 or 24 gauge steel, the products that we discussed below are going to work out great for you. So once you determine which panel you have, in each section, there's a hyperlink that says Roof Anchor Compatibility Chart. That just jumps you down to our quick reference chart at the bottom of the article here. So the products we're talking about are down the left column, and the different panels are across the top. So as you can see, most of them are compatible. These are curved panels and copper panels. These are not going to be compatible with the seam mounted equipment. Now let's talk about the products. So the SSRA1, that is a seam mounted single worker tie off that uses 12 non-penetrating set screws to lock in place, and it provides a tie off for a single worker. What makes this so unique though is the removable D-ring allows adapter plates. So once you own the anchors, you can, for not a lot of money, you can purchase the adapter plates and you can add walk boards and horizontal lifeline ability to those anchors. So the SSRA1 has two different set screw configurations you can use. The first is the cup tip screw, and that's intended for 22 gauge steel. That's going to torque to 90 inch-pounds. And then if you're on 24 gauge steel, you can switch over to the nylon tip set screws, and those are going to torque 180 to 200 inch-pounds. And we're talking inch-pounds, not foot-pounds. So once you have your anchors and you have a seam that's compatible, you can remove the D-rings. So let's say you need a 10-foot walkboard on a steep, slippery metal roof. You can mount two SSRA1s about 8 feet apart, remove the D-rings off the top. Then you mount a pair of SSRA2 roof jack adapters on top of those anchor bases. And these are both seam height adjustable as well as roof pitch adjustable. So that gets you a 10-foot wooden walkboard. If you want a temporary 100-foot horizontal lifeline for two workers, you can take two SSRA1 anchors, mount them on seams right next to each other, take an SSRA3 anchor plate, mount that on top, and the grooves in the plate allow this to adjust from 12 to 24 inch wide seams. And that assembly is going to be on each end of your 100-foot rope. So we do sell a kit that has the 4 anchors, 2 SSRA3 anchor plates, and it includes the 100-foot horizontal lifeline, all in one kit. Now, one thing we do recommend is on a wide roof area, and you have, let's say you have a crew of 4 people, you can only have 2 on the rope at a time. All you have to do is buy a couple of extra SSRA1 seam anchors and mount them right at where the rope is, but above the work area. So let's say you're working on a solar array, you would mount a couple of extra anchors right at the rope, but above the work area. And then as the worker gets to the work area, he can clip off the travel line rope onto a fixed anchor point and then descend down the roof and do whatever repair work he has to do. That way he's not tying up that horizontal lifeline for other workers that need to travel back and forth across the roof. So for roofs that require a more permanent solution, we do also have a 120-foot super anchor permanent horizontal lifeline kit. So this is intended for standing seam roofs. It uses non-penetrating anchors, aluminum base plates, and 5-inch riser posts, and it includes 120 feet of galvanized steel cable. So that's a nice system. Once you install it, you can leave it up there for roofs that require routine inspection and access for workers. So these roofs that are, let's say, copper or 26 gauge steel, roofs that don't fit the parameters where the seam mounted equipment is going to work, that's when we recommend the Ridge Pro. So the Ridge Pro is intended for 612 to 1212 roofs. Doesn't have to be a metal roof. It can be a shingle roof. A lot of different roofs are compatible with the Ridge Pro, but basically it's like a ladder hook, except it mounts on the end of a 16-foot extension pole. From the ladder, you simply run it up the roof using the pole, flip it over the peak, and you've now locked a vertical lifeline up to the peak of the roof for temporary access, for inspections, quick repairs, things like that. You just want to make sure it's the correct pitch. But that protects the worker from the minute they step from the ladder to the roof. They're already 100% tied off, and that's very rare in fall protection. So that gives that worker a chance to ascend the roof and install additional equipment for other workers, or do a quick inspection, quick repair. So insurance adjusters, roof inspectors, Christmas light installers, they love the Ridge Pro. So that gives you some different ideas of what you can and can't do on these roof systems. If you have any questions about any of these products or any of these panels, you can reach us. Our phone number is at the top of the website. You can email us at support@fallpd.com. And this little blue circle in the bottom right corner of the website, that's our live chat. Just let us know how we can help you.